Do job interviews make you nervous? Are your interviewing skills a bit rusty? In either case, No Brainers on Interviewing Program 2 will help you conquer the anxiety and snag that job you really want. We'll guide you through the interviewing process, from getting to the interview on time to accepting an offer. We'll even give you some pointers on how to get the salary you want. It's all coming up on No Brainers on Interviewing Program 2.
It's the quiz time! Which of the following is an area in which a candidate is judged during an interview? We'll tell you the correct answer at the end of the program.
Hi, how are you? Nice to meet you. Well, I've been reading up on the company now.
Yes, sir. I very much would like to work for your company. You're too aggressive. Yes, I'd love to work for this company, sir. Sir, I would love to work for this company. I think...
I'd love to have a job here working with you. It's a great company. I'd love to have a job here working with you.
I do want this job. I'd love to work for your company, and I look forward to coming to work here every day.
This is No Brainers on Interviewing with celebrity guest John Davidson.
Fear not. Now that you've got No Brainers on Interviewing, you've already taken your first step on the path to interview success. Throughout the course of this tape, we're going to help guide you through the interviewing process, from understanding the interviewer to accepting the offer. All of this will add up and help you land a job at a place like this. No Brainers on Interviewing is full of great advice on how to have the ideal interview. You can be sure that we'll make learning how to interview quick, easy, and fun. That's a no-brainer.
Part 4, Interview Actualization.
This is it, what you've worked so hard for. If you can stay focused, you'll do great.
Section A, Judgment Day.
There are 9 dimensions in which a candidate is judged during an interview. 1, educational background. 2, work experience. 3, oral communication skills. 4, impact through appearance and personality. 5, motivation and commitment to a job. 6, initiative on the job or in school. 7, independence on the job, including conflict resolution. 8, broad range of interest. And 9, work standards.
Let's take a look at these 9 dimensions and how you can make sure you get good marks in each of these categories.
Dimension 1, educational background.
Once you've gotten an interview, the interviewer has already seen your resume and already knows whether or not you have the appropriate educational background.
You should, however, be prepared to talk about your education and how it relates to the position you're applying for. For example, you might want to bring up a specific course you took that would help you in the position. If you're applying for a hotel management position, you might want to discuss a specific course you took in tourism studies, or you could talk about a specific project you worked on for a management course. It's always good to tie in your educational background, especially if you don't have a lot of work experience.
Dimension 2, work experience.
Work experience is another area that the interviewer should already know a little about. Your resume should cover the basics, and then you should be prepared to describe in detail what skills you have acquired and how they qualify you for the available position. Be specific. Talk about a project you helped implement and how it affected the company.
I felt like people wanted something more at their fast food. People didn't want to feel like they were eating a lower class of food. So I said to myself, why are we giving them lower class condiments? That's when I knew the answer. Fancy ketchup.
All the following dimensions deal with you as a person and your ability to bond with the employer. You need to mesh with them. Not every person you meet will relate to you, so if the chemistry's not there, it's better to know now and cut your losses rather than work for someone you don't like or doesn't like you.
Dimension 3, oral communication skills.
Getting your point across during an interview is extremely important. If you can't get your point across in the interview, The interviewer will think that you won't be able to get your point across in an important business situation, and then you're doomed. Make sure that you're clear, direct, and that your speech flows. Also, use appropriate language in the interview. Most slang is probably not appropriate.
Practice will help your speech immensely. Talk into a tape recorder to make sure that your speech flows and that you don't use any verbalized pauses such as like and you know. You know?
So, like it was, like, basic office work, right? I mean, like, basic, you know, really basic. You know what I mean, right?
No, actually, I don't know what you mean.
Basically, in an interview, you want to sound professional, and you want people to like listening to you. Be professional but friendly. An interviewer likes someone who allows their personality to show through.
Dimension 4, impact.
A first impression is exactly that, a first impression. So make sure it's a good one. The interviewer is looking for someone who will fit in, so look and act like you will.
You should be able to pick up on the mood of the office while you're waiting or while you're walking to the interviewer's office. Take note of the working environment. Are people laughing and joking, or are they quiet, busily working?
You should look like you fit in, too. That's why it's important to research the company and the position before the interview. A brokerage firm is probably going to be more conservative than a graphic design firm. Make sure your demeanor fits with the genre.
Fifth dimension. Motivation and commitment to a job.
An interviewer wants to see someone who really wants the job, not someone who wants a job, but someone who wants a job at their company. Offer suggestions and show that your addition to their team will really make a difference. Employers want someone who's going to be a good addition to the company, not someone who's just going to fill a desk.
Commitment to a job is very important. Never tell an employer that the position you're interviewing for will be a good stepping stone. Employers don't want someone who is constantly going to be looking for something else. Make it clear that you're looking to commit to a job.
Dimension 6, initiative on the job or in school.
Employers want someone who's going to take the ball and run with it, not someone they'll have to hand-hold. Make sure to stress that you're that type of employee. Talk about specifics from your past that show your ability to take charge.
So how closely were you supervised at your last job? Was there any hand-holding involved?
My immediate supervisor was more of a facilitator. I like to take charge of my projects, not wait for someone to tell me what to do. I see the supervisor as someone to steer the project in the right direction, but that ultimately I'm responsible for its progress and quality.
Dimension 7, independence.
An employer wants someone who is able to think for themselves. Independence in the workplace is a great attribute for an employee to have. If you have to make a difficult decision on the job, the employer wants to trust that you'll make the right decision.
So, if required, would you be able to fire a coworker, a friend, a relative, your next-door neighbor, your childhood best friend, the only guy who let you sit at his lunch table in high school?
Firing someone is never easy, especially if it's a friend. But when you have a job to do, you have to act in the best interest of the company.
Dimension 8, broad range of interests.
The employer is looking for well-rounded employees that have had work experience and life experience. To broaden your appeal, make sure to mention activities and hobbies you have outside of work. This will help give your personality definition.
Dimension 9, work standards.
An employer wants an employee who has personal goals, someone who's interested in personal excellence and not just in being outwardly rewarded. Show indirectly that you have these internal standards.
Section B, you're there for a reason.
An interviewer may be judging you, but you should enter into the interview with a mission of your own. You need to know how to achieve your objective. I mean, you are there for a reason, to get a job.
You can help convey your message, i.e., give me the job, by steering the conversation in the direction you want it to go. If you want to talk more about work experience than educational background, lead the interview in that direction.
If the interviewer goes off on some tangent, stay focused and try to get the interview back on track. You don't want to leave the interviewer with nothing but your opinions on which diner has the best chicken fried steak.
You can always change the topic, but most importantly, you want to keep the conversation alive and kicking. Make sure to answer the questions in a way that the conversation doesn't die. If the interviewer asks you, have you ever seen a fruit bat, don't just say once. You should expand and tell a story you heard